Thank you for tuning in to the Aligned Operator by BellaConnections. If today's conversation inspired you, share it with a fellow entrepreneur who's ready to grow with more focus and less chaos. Remember, scaling your business doesn't have to mean losing balance. It just takes clarity, consistency, and connection. To learn more or connect with our community, visit us at BellaConnections.com. Thanks so much. Today, we have Katie Kirsopp here, who's a fantastic online business manager, and we are just going to be talking about all things online business management and what the difference is between that, operations, what you really need in your business right now, where you can start, and all the good. So thank you for being here, Katie. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. And I don't think there's going to be too many Australians here at this time, but hello to anyone that is.
Yeah, it's like 5 a.m. your time, so.
Yeah, most of us Aussies are still tucked up in bed.
I appreciate you jumping on early with us to be here today. It's really cool.
No worries at all. I'm very excited.
Awesome. This is going to be fun. So just so you guys know a little bit about Katie, Katie has become the person who could really get your business back on track with her experience and specialized expertise. She's supported businesses by streamlining their processes and connecting them with the team they need. We're all about streamlining here, in case you didn't know the name.
Work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. Through her work, she's discovered the best ways to help business owners achieve their goals is to align their strategy with who they are as a person and their unique view of success. So there is no such thing as a cookie cutter approach, and Katie is passionate about ensuring each person's strategic roadmap and system is set up and personalized. So I met Katie through just the community and having some conversations. We hopped on a call and she gave some really great insights on online business management, how she helps clients. So I wanted to kind of bring that all to you so you can hear a little bit more about online business management and what Katie brings. So thanks for being here today, Katie.
No worries. Thank you for having me. The intros always make you sound awkward. Feel awkward. I'm like, oh, is that really me?
No, it's not just you. I didn't fumble this much as usual, but yeah, normally it's a little bit rougher. But no, that was easy. That was easy. We're all streamlining here, so it fits in really perfectly. Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. But yeah, so thank you all for having me. I'm excited. Again, anyone who's live, if you've got questions, just pop them in the chat as well. Happy to answer, and yeah, we can go from there. But I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right, sweet. Yeah, just ask your questions and we'll kind of answer them as we go. We'll do a little bit of Q&A at the end too and go from there. So I am curious, how did you get started in this space? Like, what encouraged you to become an online business manager?
It was by accident, really, if I'm honest. It was by accident. I started off, I think a lot of people had the corporate career, had the kids or a child at that time, and I just wanted the flexibility. So I thought, I'll jump on and be a VA. But quickly discovered that wasn't very good for me. That was not my zone of genius. And then I realized that it is that high level team management strategy, working side by side with the CEO entrepreneur. So I kind of fumbled across it. It's like it found me as well. That's that cliche, the job found me. I was working with a client who said, I think you should do this. You'd be better off suited to this. And the rest is history, really. I did some studies. But then I was also able to draw on a lot of my experience from like the real world or in real life. And it kind of became like that perfect package, I guess. And here I am still doing it.
I love that. And like the flexibility that you get to like spend time with your family. Like, I know you're a total go-getter. Like, you're talking to clients all the time. You're always there for them. You're always strategizing and all that stuff, but you're also able to do all this from home, like working with your family. So I think that's really, special.
It is. I'm still working on the work-life balance. So if anyone's got the secret to that, let me know, because that's something I haven't cracked yet.
I don't know if any of us here have, but maybe some. We'll see. It's a struggle for many when you're passionate about, you're multi-passionate. It's it's just what it is. It is what it is.
I know, exactly. I think it's not about work-life balance. It's about work-life happiness. I think someone told me once, something like that. It's about, you're never going to have balance, but if you're happy, that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. I love that because that's the end goal. Like the balance is to bring you happiness. So as long as you're happy with it and you're able to like spend those moments in time with your family and your kids and your loved one, but also be present in your business. And I love it.
Exactly.
I love it.
I mean, let's be honest. Sometimes the business is more fun than the other stuff. Did I really just say that?
It's all right. They can't hear you. They're not awake yet.
They're too young for the internet yet.
Yeah. I mean, that's really awesome. I mean, that's, a great and interesting path. Like it's cool that you were able to kind of dabble in things before in like VA stuff before you realized like this is really what you wanted. So I am curious, like, what are you most passionate about in your career or being an online business manager? What excites you the most?
What excites me is I think being able to show and like work with people and will show them that A, team's not a dirty word, but B, there are people out there that really have your back. That's something I'm really passionate about. I think there's a lot of people have had a lot of bad experiences around team. They haven't been committed. They go MIA. They don't turn, or whatever it might be. And I'm really passionate about showing people that you can have it and you deserve it. It's okay to ask for help and it's okay not to be the unicorn. And I think that was a big learning lesson for me, which is why I sort of structured the business the way that I did, was because I used to think I was good at everything. And if I wasn't, I would be so offended if, that graphic wasn't right or that copy was changed by the client or whatever it might be. And so that's when then I started working on that and bringing in a team and working with the team so that you can have that experience. There is such a thing as the full unicorn experience. It's not one person. So I'm really passionate about that, and also making sure team are looked after. I'm not at all interested in people who don't respect their team. I think that's really rude, and I think everybody on the team is equal. And I'm also a believer, right or wrong comes like depending on what side of the coin you're on with operations. But I do believe that if you're asking someone to do the task, you should have a clear understanding on how to do it yourself. And I'm a big believer in getting your hands dirty. So when I work with people, the operations manager can sometimes seem like a really glamorous job. You're sitting up here and you're telling people what to do on the Asana board. I don't particularly believe that. I think that as the ops manager, I need to be able to get in there and get my hands dirty and do the work and show them how to do it. So I guess that's what I'm passionate about is showing people that support is a good thing and that it doesn't have to be this fear of someone coming in and not doing the right job, not doing it the way you want, taking clients, whatever else, that all those things that go through your head, because it goes through everyone's head. Like it's normal to think that, but I want to show people that it's not the case. Like, you can partner with people who genuinely want the best for you. And that's what I want to start to portray. And that's what I want to bring forward with like the work that I do with people, is that, we partner with you. Like contractors can partner with you. It's not about, your client number 3, so you only get this many hours. Like it's relationships. And I could talk for hours on that, but that's what like I'm really passionate about, is making sure that team is looked after and people feel supported, and not just another number.
I love that because that is a huge thing. It's a big pain point for a lot of business owners, and they're often afraid to, hire team, keep team on. They're feel, you get a lot of them get a little nervous, like you said, taking clients, all that kind of stuff. Talked to somebody about that earlier today. It's like bananas, but the
interesting thing.
What's that?
It's on the flip side. The interesting thing is on the flip side, I have clients that try and take my team. So it does work both ways.
It does. And that's what I want to ask you about, is like, how do you keep your team so cohesive and working together and collaborative, especially in this online space? That's been a huge thing with a lot of people. And is it only your team, or do you work with other clients' teams too?
So I work with other clients' teams. There's either I go in there and I work with other teams, or people come and work with me and my team. For me, the biggest thing is, I honestly I try and tell them at least once a week how much I appreciate them, and giving them that space to, to grow. Like, I know that they're all business owners, but I also respect that. And so I will be that first one to help them, encourage them. If, a job comes up, yes, it's going to be painful for me if I lose them, but if it's their dream job, I want them genuinely to be happy and to genuinely succeed. And so I will support them wherever I can. I think that's communication, having a good relationship with them, but also having the boundaries too. Like, I know with my team, I'm very strict. I say, don't work weekends. Like, whereas if you want to, that's fine, but do not reply to clients on weekends, and really enforce that they have a life too. If I want to do it, that's my own fault. That's my own problem. That's cool. But just respecting their boundaries too. And if they say, I'm not around, not like, as I say, this person's out of office today, do not contact them, and giving them that space and also giving them the freedom and so that they're comfortable to be able to vent as well, because they have bad days if they're dealing with clients as well. I think that's important to remember is, these people, like my team, they're amazing and they're working with my clients, and sometimes my clients can be frustrating. And so they know they can come and talk to me about it, and it's not judgmental, and it's not, you can't, how dare you say that? It's, I'm going to listen, and I'm going to see if I can fix it. And then I think the final thing they all know as well is that if they don't like working with a particular client or on a particular product or service or whatever they're doing, I won't make them. Like, I will always have their back. And they know that as well. And I think in return, it's a cycle for me, because I know, like, the amount of times they get poached by people and clients, they always come to me, they have a laugh, but I know that they're not going to go anywhere, because we've got that mutual understanding that I will always support them and they'll always support me. So I kind of hope that answers it. It's really, for me, it's environment, and it's making sure that they feel supported and loved and held just as much as a client has, and making sure they know that I understand how important they are to my business as well. Like, I love to tell them. And then surprise and delight as well. Like, if I can give them some extra money, I'll put it in the account when I can, or one of my girls loves like healing, so I might just send her a free healing. Like, just this rewards not based on outcomes, but just because. And I'm lucky because I'm in the position I can do that. But I think that also builds the camaraderie in the team and empowering them with the other one.
I love that. So it's like your leadership style, basically. You're, very encouraging, supportive, like you're creating the environment for them to want to thrive. And then they of course are going to stick with you because, you're awesome and you're taking care of them. That's all we really want.
Exactly. And the more skilled they become, the more that I can offer clients. So instead of looking at it like, oh, if they become so good at that, they're going to leave me. It's, if they get really skilled in AI, for example, I can then offer AI support because I have someone who knows it. And it's that mindset flip of, we're a team and what can we do for the client, as opposed to, oh, if I let her do too much, she's going to leave, or she's going to steal my stuff and she's going to, take my clients and whatever. Like, you've got to have enough faith in the relationships you have with your clients that they won't leave as well. And so that's why I think that's why I think relationships is the most important thing in business.
I think you're so right. And like leading with trust, creating the right relationships. I'm assuming you probably trust your gut a lot when you're hiring people and you're talking to clients and all that, like who you actually want to work with, because that's, you
kind of know. I think everybody does. I think when you're on a call or you're talking to someone, you're just like, yeah. And then you sort of, you say, you ignore it, and then you say yes. Then 3 months later, you're like, why didn't I listen? Why didn't I just say no?
Oh, I've done that so many times. Like,
I think if we can find someone who hasn't done that, that's a miracle. Because, and you go, oh no, I'm just tired today, so I'm just being sensitive, and then you're like, no, really should have done that. Red flags are there.
Yeah, red flags from the beginning, and the red flag ones are always the most complicated, and it's just not. Yeah. So I'm glad that, you understand that and you're listening and you're doing that. So when you are like sourcing your team members or your clients and things like that, like you just are really cautious about that, and, leading with trust and that support and everything is super valuable. I am curious, a couple of things about online business management. So this is a thing that, like, I talked to a few people about, like, what's the difference between online business management, operations? Like, what does that really mean? Which one's for who, and yada, yada. And looking it up online, it says operations is strategy focused, whereas online business management is hands-on, getting the tasks and projects delivered. What are your thoughts on that? What do you actually see it as?
So for me, I see it as the online business manager is someone who is there to guide the ship, to steer the bus, however you want to sort of phrase that. There's someone who's experienced in different back-end operations. So really, I see the OBM as somebody who becomes that gatekeeper as well to the CEO. So you've got the CEO here, they're doing their thing. They know, for example, Michelle, you know that you shine on camera and you shine doing that type of thing. Like, that's what you want to do. You want to deliver, you want to be on lives, you want to be on podcasts. That's what you want to do. You don't want to worry about all the back end stuff. You don't want to worry that someone's payment hasn't gone through, but you want to know that every client's being nurtured, cared for, and loved. So the business manager, then that becomes the business manager's responsibility. And they become that person who is responsible for ensuring there are systems in place for that to happen with the clients and for that to happen in the back end of the business. Where my view differs a bit too is I love automation, yes, but I also think personal touch is a bit more important. And so I think it's really important to have that balance of bringing in the systems and the automations that will do it for you, but also still having that personal touch, because especially the way the market is at the moment, and I think it's just fair that everybody feels like they're more than just a number or another, tick in the box type thing. So it's the business manager to create, it's their, as I see it, their responsibility to create that team environment, to create that system, to create that process that people come in and feel loved, nurtured, and the CEO is at peace of mind because they know this is happening in the background, and they can go and focus on bringing people in, nurturing their audience, doing all that. And the business managers there managing the team, making sure that everyone's happy, and all those little day-to-day little, hiccups and things that happen, half the time the CEO doesn't even need to know about them. And that's sort of where I see the role sitting. And it's really important to what I touched on before is that I believe that an OBM needs to be able to know how to do things as well. It's more than just, here's an Asana board, here's a launch checklist, go and do it. It's, okay, so your website's broken. What can I do to fix it? If you're mid-launch, the last thing you want someone to do is go, hang on, I'll fix it. Let me go and set an Asana task up. Let me go and find someone to do it. Like, they need to be able to think quick and go, all right, I know somebody can fix it. Let's just get it done. And then after the fact, look back and go, okay, so was this something that we could have prevented? Is this something that, because let's be honest, tech glitches happen anyway. It's like this part of, I don't think I've met anyone who's had a launch that hasn't had a glitch. And so it's about the problem solving. And then the other part of the role, the other, like, this is where I shine, is the strategy. It's looking, okay, where do you want to be in 12 months time? You want to be here? Great. Let's reverse engineer that. How? You need to have this. You want to open a new course? We need to have all this in place before you do it. And having that person to say no, I think is really important as well, because as much as I love my clients, they sometimes go off on little tangents. I've had the best idea, let's do this. And it's about going, yes, it's a great idea, but where does this fit in? Like, if you're going to do that masterclass, you realize that this quiz will then not be finished because the team will be working on that. And just making sure there's that understanding of the bigger picture. So the idea of the OBM is to always have the big picture in place. And that's what we're looking at. That's what we're thinking about. That's what we're working towards. And everything we're doing is towards that vision. Does that kind of answer? I kind of went on a bit of a tangent then.
Oh, I loved it. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Because that's the thing that I have a lot of people, people misunderstand what an online business manager and an operations manager is. I don't know of any. I mean, I've heard of people who say, no, that's not my job. No, I'm not going to do that. Or, like you said, let me create a task and figure that and then send it to someone. It's like, no, you get things done. Like, that's what this whole
that's
role
the thing.
is. That's what you are as an operator.
It's literally like, get shit done.
Yeah.
And that's literally what I do. Like, and I love it. Like, that's where I shine. Like, you need something done, I'll be your advocate too. And that's coming down to hiring, to working with contractors, like big companies, all that. Like, clients will say, I feel like this, I've signed this contract and this hasn't been delivered. Can you sort it out? So I'll go and have the meetings with the companies or the contractors and say, these are your deliverables. We haven't received X, Y, Z. And I'm the advocate for the client because they don't have time to go and sit in 2-hour meetings working out if something was delivered or not. Like, they need to be out doing their zone of genius. So I become that silent. Someone called me once silent business partner, and that's probably a good way to sum it up as well. Like, I'm the advocate for the business. I'm your partner in crime. I'll go in there and I will And I actually enjoy that. And I'm chasing down someone at the moment who's copied someone's work. I'm like, that person's not getting away with it, because the client is I want to look after them, and everything that I do for them is for the business. So I'm like, yeah, fighting for them. Anyway, that's a bit more of that. There. Yes.
For your team and for your clients, it sounds like. I mean, yes, it's important. That's what they need. They need that.
We all need it. Like, the online world's so hard to find a good niche, and it's hard to find people who care, and it's hard to feel included. So I think once you have that, it's really important to nurture that, and it works both ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And you did mention like how, a couple of times, of course, we've talked about the team and your team. So, and that's a huge part of delivering for your clients and working with them too, is how you're taking care of the team. So I'm curious, when you do hire new team members, or if you're hiring for you or your clients, what are some key things that you look for in them?
So depending on the role, I think is a big one. I'm a big believer in, you can teach people certain skills, but they've also got to have like certain skills. If I'm looking for an EA, for example, I can teach them how to manage an inbox, but I can't teach them how to interact with people. They've already built that skill. So I look to see how they interact. Really, for me, it's about how they connect. I like to also, when I do the interview, is do a group interview. And so I see how they act within a team environment. More so, it's not because I want to see who's better, who's worse. It's more, I want to see how they interact with people. Are they respectful? Do they let people talk? Or are they the me, it's all about me? So I keep an eye out for that, because I feel like the me people are not going to be a good team player. I like to find out what their hobbies are as well. And that sort of gives me an insight of what they do outside of work. I always do a social stalk. I think that's really important. And the other thing, the key is, don't have like a silly Gmail account. You know how when we were kids, we had like the, I don't know, I can't even think now, like those ridiculous Hotmail accounts. Like, don't use those for interviews. People still do. Yeah. I still get like Hot Lips 21 at, but I'm like, oh no, I can't.
Like our old AIM names. Mine was Silver Stars.
So I can't. So I'm like, those little things like that I look out for. Again, if it's an EA role or something, I'll need to know attention to detail, because that's a huge part of the role. So I'll, throw in, I might say, can you reply to a client email as a test task? I believe in sending a test task, but not doing a test task that is actually a job you would pay someone to do. I think there's a really fine line there. I think getting someone to do something for like 10 minutes to show they can actually do a skill that they say they can do is fine, but having them build something that you're calling a test task is not okay. Or if you want them to, pay them. Like I do, there is that ethical thing there. But going with my gut as well, being able to have that conversation, and knowing the different personality types as well, because and it's very stereotypical, but I like a lot of tech BAs that I work with don't like to have big, long conversations. So I need to respect that and know that, that's the way that they like to, they're a bit more introverted. They like to just go and do their work, and that's it. And respecting that, and not like just having like not crossing them off because they haven't sat there for 3 hours and talked to me about something.
Yeah. The communication styles. It's like understanding the different people and different personality tests. Do you do personality testing and like look at those with your team?
Depends on the client. So I work with a whole range of clients. Some prefer to do like their human design or what their birth chart, like those sort of things. Others prefer the more traditional, the disc, the strengths. What's the Go Up Strengths Finder? So it really depends on the client. I like to use a bit of both. I think sometimes people can answer what they want you to think they want answered. Mm-hmm. And that I'm always wary of that, because I'm like, okay, if they're going for an EA job or they're going for a high level management job, they're going to like have that in the back of their mind when they're doing that test. They're going to answer what they think will be the right answer. So it's more for me, it's about conversation and connection as well. And like, just, digging in and finding out a bit more about them, how they interact, asking for experiences, I think is a good one. What are they proud of? Yeah. That's all. I always find that interesting. And I think a big thing is asking a time when they failed, because we've all failed. We've all done it. No one's perfect. So if they're open and honest about that, it kind of leaves a good taste. It's like, okay, you're genuine. You know that there's places to work on. Everyone's got places they need to work on.
Yeah, for sure. And that also shows you the problem solving. We all do. And that also shows you their problem solving skills too, like how they solved whatever dilemma or failure that was.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah. But in short, yes, I do use them, but I don't swear by them. Like I use it in a mix of different other tools. Absolutely.
That's like kind of what I do is like a lot of clients, we do personality testing, like different versions of them. But I think like you said, is like, they're so easy to manipulate based on what you want.
Oh, I know.
What you think your personality is. I've seen some that are so like, I hear, like good friend or somebody does it and then they tell me their results and I'm like, oh, I'm totally not this, that, and the other. And I'm like, you're actually.
And it depends on mood. Sometimes you're in like the best mood and it's like, oh, I love life, the bang, bang, bang. And other days you're having a bad day and your results are different because of that.
Absolutely. That's exactly it. It's like, it's the state of and frame of mind that you're in that moment and what you're working towards or achieving. So
yeah, use it. Yeah, use it, but as a baseline. I did actually try I was hiring for an EA and I tried I can't remember what it was called, but it was attention to detail test. That was really interesting because I failed it. I was like, oh, and then I'm all like, wow, what's wrong with me? And got all defensive. But it was really interesting because a lot of people did, and on like resumes and CVs or they'll say attention to detail is high, but then you actually do this assessment and I was like, it was really eye-opening because I thought I had a good attention to detail and it turned out via this test I do not.
Well, that's how you can do so many things at once and how you can manage a team who's attentive to detail because you can see the bigger picture, which is where you're in terms of the strategy, big picture. And then, you know how to manage and lead a team who can implement it. So.
Yeah. So I just find them very interesting. But anyway.
It is. Cool. Yeah, I guess I am curious, like, in terms of like online business management, who are really like the ideal clients? Like, who is it really for? Like, is it who would be an ideal client for an online business management?
I can really only speak to me for that because I know that ideal clients are different for a lot of business managers. For me, it's go-getters, people who know they know where they want to be and they're not afraid to put in the work. I think that's a big thing for working with me and my team especially is that if you say you want something done, we're going to do it. Don't be like, oh, I need to think about it. It's okay. We're doing it. This is what's happening. You want to get there? We're going to make you get there. It needs to be like an ideal client. I guess you need to have an established business. Like a startup an OBM is not right for a startup. You need to have some sort of flow, some clients in place so we can work with you with the systems. On the flip side to that, I suppose if you are selling something new and you want a system built out, a project base would be good for you. I wouldn't go on a retainer because there's no need for that. But where the clients I normally tend to work with sit in that sort of that high 6 to 7 figure, they've been around for probably 5 years. They've got 1 or 2 VAs, but they don't really have much structure in place. So I come in and we restructure it and we really push them to go to that 7 figures. And then sort of once they get to that high, like 7 to 8 figures, that's when we look and go, all right, maybe it's time to bring on a team member, full-time team member, depending on what's happening. I might come in and consult just on strategy, things like that. So it's really about, for me, being a driven person and knowing that it's an investment and that like there's no way around that. And working with like a business manager is an investment because they're going to also bring in systems that they want to use, which potentially can come at a cost. Or, you might want to change from one system to another. It's an expense. It's not just an easy project. So understanding that as well is really important. But for me, it's the drive. Like you've got to you really want to take that next step. You want to get organized. You're sick of being in the day-to-day. You're feeling overwhelmed. Every time you look at your phone, it's like, oh, another message, seriously? Or, an email, it's like, oh, can't I just work this out? It's when you're getting to that kind of stage that when you need that, because the OBM will take all that off you and they will be that gatekeeper. So instead of the team coming to you, it's my phone that'll go up with the, what's the password? I can't find this. Where's this link? You get removed from all of that, and you become focused on what you want to do. So that's sort of when I would start to look at working on a retainer, is when you're like, I'm sick of it. I can't do anymore. I'm like at capacity. I can't even go for a walk without putting my phone down because someone always needs something, or there's always something, or you're laying in bed going, oh, did that contract get signed? Oh, I've got to follow that payment up. Did that go through? Oh, I didn't send that email. When you're at that stage, that's when it's time to sort of go, all right, maybe I need some help around how I can get out of this so that I can free my brain up to actually do what I want to do, because you're sort of stuck in the weeds with the mud.
Oh my gosh, I need that right now.
Oh, everyone, I often say it. I'm like, I need one.
Yeah. Doesn't. Oh, for real. It's like, so many people that I talk to are like, it's just like getting them that support and having that person to like get things done. Like that's all.
Yes.
It's all.
And it's the
operations or anything. And
it's the hard role to hire for, because these people are coming in and they're meeting your clients. They're seeing your secrets. They're like, yeah, it's really important that when you work with an OBM to make sure that you have a really strong non-disclosure in place and things like that, because they do come in and they see all behind the scenes. Like the amount of stuff I've seen behind the scenes is amazing, but I'm also very wary that, I can't abuse that trust. So that's something to just keep in mind when you are hiring one. And I think that's why a lot of people do they don't jump into hiring the role, because you're giving them access to your whole business, your contacts, your courses, your emails, like everything. And yeah, and that's why I'm passionate, which it brings it back to point one, is why I'm passionate about making sure that, that it's not a dirty word to have a team, and it's not a dirty word to have support, because not everyone's like out there there are people who want to see you succeed. And it's just finding them.
Absolutely. And helping them get to that success level. And I know a lot of like what you're doing in order to do that, like you said, is setting up the systems for them.
Yeah.
So like, I'm curious, what kind of systems do you typically set up? Like, what do people really need the most?
Project management system and communication. Actually, it's like a non-negotiable. They need that, because I'm laughing because I recently started with a client who didn't have a project management system, and I remembered my rule: don't work with people with no project management system, or people that don't want to set them up. Because there needs to be a place to put everything. Like at the moment, in a typical scenario, everything's up here with the entrepreneur. It's all in their head. It's like they know that customer A needs this. They know that, they've got to do this, this, and this, but no one else knows. So for me, the hardest part is extracting that and then putting it into a system for them. And again, this comes back to what you sort of mentioned when you introduced me, is that it needs to be personalized. There's no cookie cutter way to have someone's system. Like you can't, export someone's project management system and plug it into your business and expect it to work, because everyone's so different. And I think it's really important that when you are setting up, or you're looking at systems, even hiring as well, you take other people's recommendations on board, but you need to be the one that is happy with it. And I feel like, I believe anyway, the team needs to learn to adapt to that, because at the end of the day, it's your business. Everyone leaves, you've got to be able to use it. And so if you have this, high level tech crazy system that, your coach has said to get, and then you can't use it, it's kind of like a waste of time and money. I also think it needs to be simple. I think people overcomplicate systems, but that's a whole different conversation. So it's really about, just making sure that you get what's right for you, I think. And so the project management tool, and then the communication, I think, is really important as well, because otherwise things get lost. And streamlining that, I mean, Slack seems to be pretty universal with a tool to use, and just making sure that's set up so that you've got the correct channel, so that when you are having conversations, you're not losing important information, and knowing that those communication channels aren't for tasks and aren't for delivery. It's for, I need a code, or did you see that email from so-and-so, or I just had this great idea, can you put it in Asana for me? So I find that what works really well is a CEO isn't in the project management system. They're just in the Slack channel. And normally it's just me, because if they do it with the team, it can get a bit overwhelming, and they just dump everything in the channel. And then me or my team or however it's working will then extract that and put it into tasks and things like that for the team. And so it becomes this, it's clear for everybody. So I think that's really key, project management system for all your ideas. And it's easy to, like, it's people, I think as entrepreneurs, we forget that what we find easy and what we're like, oh, I don't need to do this, other people don't know and team don't necessarily know. And so having it laid out for them that, you know, you need, if you're doing a launch, you need a Facebook cover change, you need the Instagram link tree change, like all those little things, having that list for them, it just ensures things get done. So I think project management tool and communications is the two most important, and they don't have to be complex.
Absolutely. And I think like getting those set up, it's like a nightmare going into a client that one either doesn't have it or is, and if they're not willing to put it up, like that's a big no. But when, they're willing to have it set up, like it's so essential when you're trying to run launches and you're managing team, like as you grow, you really, really need that. And so like these checklists and everything that you're putting together, do you when you're putting the project management software together, one, do you have a preference on which one? And two, do you put the tasks into the software and assign them to the team? And how do you like keep them to go in and actually review and use it?
So the preference, I have a preference. I prefer Asana because it's simple. However, like I just said, it's really on what the client wants. Like we've worked with ClickUp, we've worked with Trello, we've worked with Notion, we've worked with Teamwork. Like Monday, I think I've got something coming up with that. So it really is about what the the business owner is comfortable with, because at the end of the day, they need to be able to use it. We don't want them to use it, but they need to be able to. And then in terms of like setting up the project, we do it all. So a typical conversation would be, all right, Katie, I want to launch a new product. Okay, great. What's the product? You'll go through it all. I will go away then and I will break that down into tasks. We assign that to the team, whether that's my team or your team, and then we manage that project. So something's not done, I want to know why. If this is late because the graphic design is sick, then that's fine, but that changes all the other due dates. Like there's the roll-on effect. It's not just can't bother today. It doesn't matter if I don't get it. Yeah, okay. If you don't get me that graphic, that affects then the website, the emails, the blah, 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 blah. And so we manage that whole process. So from the entrepreneur or the CEO's point of view, it's, I want this and it will be delivered X. And obviously throughout the way, there'll be check-ins and we need you to approve things and make sure we're on the right track and things like that. But the terms of the management, out of there. And we want you to have nothing to do with it, because that then too many chefs in the kitchen. You need to focus on your zone of genius and let us do the rest.
I love that. Like it's so helpful. And it's just, getting all that into one place, seeing what your list of things to do is, and helping a CEO understand, or an owner or whatever, to understand that they don't need to be in there. I think that's the hardest thing, is like getting them to understand they don't.
I have changed passwords. Only with long-term clients who I love and who I've known them for like 5 years. And I'm like, just go away, go on a holiday. I'll change the password and you have it when you get back. That I have been known to do, but that's like, I'd never not give them the password. It's more so that they can go and enjoy some time off and relax, and like we all deserve it. Yeah,
that's huge. It's like finding us too is like getting anyone to actually go take a vacation or take a rest.
I am this Christmas and I cannot wait.
You're going somewhere on Christmas, you said?
I'm just taking time off. I'm just like going, you know what? I'm out of office. It's been a while, but I'm looking forward to it.
It's such a difference. I took my first 2 weeks off in over 10 years recently for my mom's birthday. We took her to Italy and Switzerland. I swear to God, I was a psycho before, like straight up psycho. And then I come back and I was like, wow, I am not reacting how I used to. Like I am not losing my mind. Like it just makes a difference. So work-life happiness matters.
It's like, sometimes you do have to take a step back to see that bigger picture. And I know, like, I hate being told that. I know that all my clients hate being told that, but it's like, go away, don't do anything for, 24 hours. Nothing is going to change in 24 hours. Come back and see what you think then. And it's a whole new conversation. And it's so exciting because it's like the energy changes and it's like, okay, we're clear. We know exactly what we're going to do and we execute on it, because you've got to have a clear vision to be the leader. You can't sort of be like, I think I want to do this, I think I want to do that, because that will then filtrate down, because then Well, for example, if you're not clear, it means I'm not clear. If I'm not clear, the team will come to me with questions and I'll be like, hang on a minute, let me just check. Let me go back. Like, and it's all murky for everyone. Whereas if we know that the CEO wants to be on 10 podcasts by the end of the year and launch 3 courses, we know. So they come to me and say, well, what about this? It's like, is it in the goal? Is it going to move the needle? What do you think? And then it's like, and all of a sudden everyone's clear and we know where we're going.
Yeah, like actually showing what the team's working on now, what the projection is, creating those timelines and project plans. There's so many ideas. We need a not right now person.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we had I always recommend for the entrepreneurs is to have somewhere to dump all of that, a parking lot, a brain dump, whatever you want to call it. I always have a board in Asana where I say, okay, if you've got an idea, send me a WhatsApp. I'll put it in there and we'll address it at the next meeting. And honestly, 9 times out of 10, it's, that was such a bad idea. Why did I want to do that? But that's just part of the job. I mean, we've all done it. I mean, I've woken up in the middle of the night and gone, that is the best idea. And then woken up properly and gone, oh my God, really? I must have just been half asleep. It's normal. But having somewhere, because once I think it's out of your brain, it's somewhere you can then relax and focus on other things.
Yeah. I think that's huge. I do have a couple things in here, but I saw that Isaac has a couple questions, so I'm going to throw those out to you if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. What aspects of this do you think a business owner should be able to handle at the level before hiring someone for it? Both so you can get there and also be prepared when it's time to hire.
I think you need to have an understanding of how you want your business to work. I think that's important. Understand what it is that you want to achieve and then look for it. You don't necessarily have to have it all in place, but you've got to have an idea of what you want. Like you might have a project management system which you've started to build some processes out, you started to do a few things and, it just needs work. One of the most important things for peace of mind more than anything is if you're at that stage where you're starting to think about wanting to hire a business manager or support or something like that, is start recording everything you do on a daily basis. Like really start to take note of what you do each day and go, okay, I do this. If you do it more than twice a week, I think it's time to outsource it. Or it's time to look at an automation for it, depending on what the task is. But start to really know what you do. Start to screen record tasks that you do, because the best way to make sure that the consistency is going to be there and your standards are met is you've got to have the SOPs in place to start to screen record. And it can just be a screen recording. Like if you're uploading a blog, just record how you do it. You like to go and check the H1 headings, et cetera, et cetera. And then you start to build this kit that you can hand over to somebody. The other thing I think is important is the frame of mind that it's not always going to be the way that you want it done. Like it's really important to be okay with that, because otherwise, if you're not, you're never really going to be able to let go. Like I used to like that, so I reframed it, and I think now, okay, it's not the way I would do it, but sometimes it's actually better than I would do it. Or it's, it's more cost effective, or it's a better outcome for the client, even though it's not how I would do it. Having that sort of mindset that you're okay to let go of things, but to start building out what you can. Like just start having a bank of what you can. And then, if it is all too overwhelming, it's all too much, then it's definitely time to talk to someone and see what you can put in place. And it could be a simple project build. Like it might be you're at a stage where you just need a really solid structure of a project management tool for the next 6 months. And maybe it's worth having someone come in to build that structure for you. And then in 6 months' time, review it and go, okay, now I'm ready for someone to manage it.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that answer. I feel like I didn't really. Did that answer the question?
I mean, I think it did. It sounded like it to me. Like it makes a lot of sense, especially like building the SOPs. If you do it through just getting those Loom videos, creating what you really need help with. Because like a lot of times people hire someone and then they get frustrated because they're waiting for them to do things, and they're like, well, I don't want to give it to them because I got to train them, and it's all that back and forth. So this eliminates that. It gives them a clear list of what you need done right off the bat and makes it really easy for them to just jump in
and do it in bite size. I think a big mistake that people make is they go, okay, you're my VA, here's all my jobs. It's like, no, let's start with, let's start with, three things. Like it could be, for example, let's start with email management and then I'll bring you on to onboarding. Like don't give them everything all at once. It does take time. And I think that's something that, especially in this day and age, we expect things to be done yesterday, that to get things done properly can sometimes take, a couple of months to onboard somebody properly. And this is one of the biggest lessons to me. I'm like, I want it done yesterday. My team goes, so when's that due? And they go, actually, don't worry, I know it was due yesterday. But I also need to know that, it's not possible. And so it's managing that expectation that, yes, I would love it yesterday, but in reality, it's going to take some time.
Yeah. And giving them time to get up to speed on the company and the role and all that kind of stuff. It does take time and it can be frustrating, but those looms make a big difference in. Yeah,
because they can watch it as many times as they want. And you don't know, they could sit there for an hour and watch it over and over again. If someone's doing that, I probably think it's the wrong hire. But they have that option instead of going to you, I don't understand this. It's like, go watch the loom. And it just gives them that it's empowering them as well, which will make a big difference in the long run.
Exactly. I love that. All right. Now, question number 2 from Isaac is, what do you like to see people having in place or ready for you to do what you have to once you do come on?
Project management system, I think, is a non-negotiable, and the way they communicate. And like an example of that is I started with the client and it was all in Facebook. And so everything would be, can you do this in Facebook? And it gets lost because you can't search, you can't find it. It's like things get dropped. So you don't have to have it in place, but you need to be ready or open to that coming in, because it's really important to have clear communication and a project management system set up. The other way to look at it too is, and this is what I will help businesses on, is when you grow, you obviously can't do it all. So you need to make sure that you've got a place where everything is, so that, if you're all of a sudden serving 1,000 clients, everything that is up here is somewhere so someone else can serve that, because no one can serve 1,000 clients. You need to have it all here so that you can have 50 different people, serving 10 clients each. And there's everything they need to know is in this one place. So I'll say Asana because it's what I use most. The Asana board becomes the hub of the business. It's like where everything happens. If you don't know how to do something, you go here. If you want to know if this client's paid, you go here. If you want to see, say like sale, you have CRM for sales. But if you want to see, what's coming up in certain courses or what we're launching in 6 months' time, you zoom out and you have a look at the big vision view, and you can see this month we're focusing on promotion. Next month we're focusing on building. The month after that we're doing a masterclass. Then we're doing a live. Like it becomes the place where everything is. And then if you want to sell the business too, then it's the place where everything is. And it becomes, the business isn't relying on you. It's relying on this project management system. So they're probably the two. Everything else, I think you can go as you need. Like you can sort of work around it, but project management system, either have it or be open to it, I think is the main one.
Absolutely. I think that makes it, it's so necessary to move any business forward, or just keep all those ideas in in one place, have a plan, be able to see things. It relieves a lot of anxiety, because you're not like with that endless to do, oh my gosh, I have to do all these things and they're only in my brain and only this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. It's like, you actually see, what needs to get done and what's getting done on the timeline.
The other big one too is, and this is like more of a tip than anything else as well, is that you can have all your links and everything. So I have a board where if I'm doing a launch, I have a board where main links. So I have a link to the landing page, link to the payments, or the discount codes. There's one place that I go if I need a discount code, or there's one place that I go if I need everything. The other thing as well is when you're working with a team is that instead of having a Slack channel or Facebook where there's 6 different conversations going on all at once, you go into that task and the communication is purely based on that task. So you can go back and go, oh, that's right. We said it was going to be X, Y, Z, or okay, that's been approved. Great. And you don't have to go searching through threads and threads and threads of chat. It's like, okay, I can't remember what she said about that landing page. Let's go check. Sana, the task, all the comments are there. Done.
Yeah.
Saves time.
Well, that's the other thing, like with the Slack and stuff, like I've noticed a lot of business owners are adverse to using the threads, but that's how like you can keep the project separated. So are you saying you have these conversations about the project in the project management software, or you do them on Slack and it goes into the software?
It's a bit of both. So I don't want the business owner in there. So I tend to have the conversation with the business owner in Slack. But for the team, I'll keep it in their Asana task, because then they all know. Like, and this is because I work on some more complex projects as well. So, you know, we've got videographers, we've got designers, social media. And so everybody knows what's going on. I think that's really key. And what I see happen a bit, which is not, I wouldn't recommend, is these private conversations between people, because things get agreed or they don't get they won't get communicated properly. And so one of the things I always say is it's not about having a secret or not about not telling someone. We have a communication channel so everyone knows what's going on, so that it actually saves time and it's easier for everybody.
I think that's a huge one, is like the open communication, everyone seeing what's going on and seeing the decisions being made, so that you can actually keep on track of what's going on. Because often, like, there'll be these private, questions and things like that, these conversations, and then it's like nobody else knows what's going on. Other people can't jump in and help you. They don't know, what decision was made. It just makes it really difficult to keep up with things and to actually move people's jobs and have them moving forward and get things done. So.
Yeah. The other thing to keep in mind as well, I guess, is that you also don't want to have everybody in chats that don't include them. So I tend to break out in my Slack channel, and I have a team, so I know it's not relevant for everybody, but I'll have like a design channel or a tech channel where we ask the tech related questions that might be very generic, or, we're stuck on something, because the designer doesn't need to know about that. And so they don't want to open up their Slack and be like, oh, I've got 50 messages, and then actually look at it and go, I don't even need to know. So making sure that everyone who needs to know is in the right chats, but not having everybody in everything for the hell of it as well. I think that's really important.
I totally agree. Yeah. And having it visible so everybody can see what decisions are made and refer back to them, but also just alerting the people who need to be alerted of it. So yeah, that makes a big, big difference. Isaac has another question here.
Yeah, of course.
When you find you're going in circles with a business owner whose competence is at an unconscious competence level, and they'll communicate something isn't working, but you can't really get the criteria for what would make it work. How do you find a solution in those situations, especially with processes? Are you
asking as a business owner who's working with an OBM, or an OBM who's working with a business owner type scenario? Because I think there's two different scenarios there. So if you can clarify that, I can attempt to answer that one.
I can tell you he's doing a VP of marketing role with a business owner. So
okay. Yes, that's fun times. It's kind of, I feel like that's something I'd jump on a call with you, because what have you tried? What's not worked? So it's really going to depend on the client and what you tried, what you haven't. Sometimes you've got to be blunt. Like, sometimes you've just got to say it how it is, and just be honest. I know that I've had people who have said to me, I've hired you because you're so blunt. And I'm like, I'm not that bad. They're like, yeah, you are. I'm like, really? But I think, what's the saying? You got to be cruel to be kind. And I think sometimes you just need to own the role and just be like, you know what? This is what I see. This is what I think. This is what I like. But don't come at it like aggressive. It's that age-old thing of go to them with the solution, so that there's a problem, but don't say, hey, your systems are all messed up. Go, I've noticed your systems aren't working. Here's what I suggest we do. Here's my solution. And start to approach it from that way, as more of a, especially in that higher end role, come at it as more of a partnership thing, and say, have you noticed, or what do you think about this? Or have that open conversation about, I've noticed this is happening and I don't know if you're subconsciously aware of it, blah, blah, blah. And that's probably the best way to do it, but you just got to communicate. You just got to tell them, because 9 times out of 10 people don't know as well. I think that's the thing. I mean, that's like not probably the best answer. It's something I'd probably say, I'm happy to jump on a call with you on that, because that's a whole bag of worms.
No, I think that was a great answer, honestly. If you can give clear, concise, this is what I see, this is how I envision it being solved. I think that makes a massive difference in, them being receptive and understanding, and you're bringing them a solution, not just a problem, but like the solution to it. And I think that's,
they don't have time. Yeah. Like, they don't have time, and they've my partner always says, they've hired you to fix a problem, so fix it. That's what my partner always says to me. I'm like, oh my God. And he's like, that's what they hired. That's your job. Your job is to fix it. And I'm like, but then I'm going to be a bitch. He's like, that is your job.
Yeah.
Not to be a bitch, but, to fix it. And so at the end of the day, I'm always working, for the best of the business. And I think to remember that's important. Like that's what you've got to remember is that you're there, you're like speaking for the business.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's huge. Huge. And I think I just want to ask you, I know we're getting kind of towards the end here. I do want to ask you one last question because this is one of my favorites to ask.
Gosh, I hate these ones. These ones make me nervous.
Oh, what's that one time? No, I'm kidding. I'm just curious, like, because you work with a lot of businesses, like you've been doing this a long time. You're fantastic at it. I'm curious, like, what is an example of the craziest business mess you've ever walked into, and how did you solve that?
Oh, have you got all day? I don't even know. Like, there's so many. I've walked into literally a 7-figure business that they don't have anything in place except a spreadsheet, which isn't even a spreadsheet. It's like literally a dump of numbers. Some of the stuff out there, but I think it's really important that goes to as well that you don't never be ashamed of it, because like, trust me, there's worse out there. Like this, I don't know, this lady, I'm like, so who's paying what? She's like, oh, hang on. And so we pull out this spreadsheet and it's just this jumble of numbers. And she's like, I think they've paid. Hang on a minute. And I'm like, oh my God, how do you not even know if your client's paid? Other ones when I've gone into an Asana board and there's tasks from 3 years ago. They're like, I use Asana. I'm like, it was from 2017. Oh, yeah, I haven't done that yet. I'm like, oh, God. Honestly, there's so many things. Like I've worked with people who don't even know how much they earn, down to people who have every single system and Zap in place but actually have no idea where it goes. Oh, yeah, I've got that Zap, but I don't know what it's doing. Or, I've got ConvertKit and I've got Kajabi and I've got ActiveCampaign. Why? Oh, because they're all good. And it's like, oh. So, yeah, there's lots of messes out there, but it's part of the fun. So never be ashamed. I think it's a big one.
It is. Yeah. And it's just, but that's that's the beauty of working with someone like you, is like, you can see these systems and processes, you see how to streamline, how to get it organized and what they need. And a lot of times the business owners, they just need an outsider's perspective to show them that. So
sometimes that's all it is someone going, someone who's not in the thick of it and who's not as emotionally attached. Because I know when people say to me, you should do this, and I'm like, that's my baby, don't tell me that. But then when you sort of take a step back, you're like, oh, actually it makes sense. That's a smart move. Like, it's someone who's got the experience, but also who's doesn't have the emotional connection. I think that's really key. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. Well, this has been really awesome. Like, I really appreciate you coming and sharing all this with us. No, it was lovely just to chat and just talk business. I enjoy it. I love it. It's been a pleasure, like, getting to meet you and talk to you and everything too. So does anybody else have any questions they want to ask before we close out today? I'm happy, like, if you want to, like, I'm happy if anyone has questions to pop in the group and, like, Michelle just tag me or whatever, and I can come in and answer them. I've got no issues with any of that. Like, it's always the way you get off a call and you're like, oh, I should have asked that. So I'm happy to sort of pop back in a couple of days and be like, yeah, that's the answer, or this is what you should do, or whatever it might be. I really appreciate that. That's so no worries. No worries. I do have to run because I have got another call now starting. Okay, cool. With a designer, an interview. It was really great to see you. I appreciate it. Yes. And thank you all for being here. It was fun having you. No worries. Thank you so much, guys. Bye. Take care.